Well, it is my honor now to introduce our guest speaker. And if you've been coming to Creative Living Fellowship for any amount of time, you will have heard him speak here, but you may have heard him at different conferences within Arizona and outside of Arizona. He is a sought-after presenter, speaker of truth. Reverend Terry McBride has a unique ability to deliver complex ideas and simple truths in a way that anyone can build their own success model and maximize their achievements. So, Reverend Terry, if you would come up, we would like to give you an official CLF welcome this morning. We thank you so much for being here. And so, if everybody will rub your hands together and send that loving energy to Reverend Terry, and you're just going to receive and you're going to repeat after me. Reverend Terry, we welcome you here this morning.
Reverend Terry, we welcome you here this morning.
We are open to receiving your words of wisdom.
We are open to receiving your words of wisdom.
We bless you on your work in the world today.
We bless you on your work in the world today.
And we welcome you to CLF.
And we welcome you to CLF.
Let's welcome Reverend Terry.
Years ago, I took my daughters to their first Science of Mind church in Seattle. My youngest daughter, Sherry, was about 8. And when we walked out of the church to the car, she was just smiling. And I looked at her and I said, "Did you like what the minister said?" She said, "I'm not sure I understood, but they were so happy and they clapped." It's like that when I come here. My soul is welcome here. I thank you for that. And Celia, this is the 4th time I think we've been on the same stage. I love your energy, and I also love your CDs because I listen to them in the car, and you bring that same energy through your CDs, so thank you for that. How many of you have not heard me speak before? Raise your hand. Well, have fun. And know that if I was talking to you, and those who've heard me before, I say this every time I speak, but if I was talking to you one-on-one, first thing I do is find out what books have you read, what trainings have you taken, what words and concepts do you use as you explore this idea of being God in form. Because that's the foundation for this center. The center is not about use these principles and when you die, you go to a better place. This center is about the better places right here, right now. That's what Jesus was talking about when he said, "Behold, the kingdom of heaven is at hand." And you can feel that when you walk in this room. So if I was talking to you the first time, I'd find out the words you use. But since I'm going to take about 25 minutes, there's a good chance as I get on a roll, I might say something a little different than you're used to. And all I would ask is if we run into a place where there's a little difference, please look past it, get under the words, because I guarantee you my sole intention this morning is to remind each of us how absolutely magnificent and powerful we are right now. This morning I'm going to talk about how Science of Mind sets you free. How'd you like to wake up in the morning and before you do anything, before you use any of these spiritual principles, you find this feeling starts kind of low down here in your guts. And as it starts to move up into your body, part of you just wants to wiggle like a puppy. And by the time it gets up your consciousness, it can only be language like, "Oh, goody, another day." How'd you like to go to bed at night? And as you snuggle into your covers and fluff up your own pillow, you find that there's within you this tremendous excitement about who you are and what you're doing with your life. How'd you like to have a body that works perfectly and that's pain-free? How'd you like to have the circumstances in your life working the way you want them to work? These are some of the promises of science of mind. You see, science of mind is about you making your dreams come true. In fact, Ernest Holmes is real clear. He says, look, the only way you can own these spiritual principles that we teach is for you to make your dreams come true. When I first walked into my first Science of Mind center over 40 years ago, I sat in the back. And I wanted to scoot out as soon as the service was over. But on the way in, I picked up a little pamphlet. And as everybody was doing, and saying hello, I was in the back corner back there reading this pamphlet. And this pamphlet said, Science of Mind is a correlation of the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, and the revelation of religion applied to human needs and the aspirations of mankind. And we've changed that to humankind. This center, Science of Mind, is about your needs and your aspirations. That's the good news of this spiritual center. And there are some of you saying, oh, goody, we got a guest speaker who's going to come in here and tell us all things are possible if you only believe. Whatever you ask for in prayer, believing you shall have it, you shall have it. That's exactly what I'm going to talk about this morning. Many of you know my story. I had a spinal fusion when I was 23. Spine got infected with E. coli bacteria. This was almost 50 years ago. The only way to get E. coli out was to cut it out. Over the next 11 years, I had 27 major surgical procedures on my spine and abdomen. They pulled my bowels out and clipped them, sewed them to my tummy, so I went to the bathroom in a plastic bag. They did things to my body a person's not supposed to recover from. It's real dramatic. If you want to know the whole story, you can read the book, because when I was at the University of Washington Hospital and 6 surgeons came in, 6 professors came in and said, this is what we're going to do, this cutting out, and when we're done, you're going to lose the use of your right leg, probably some of the mobility of your left leg, you're going to lose the controls of your bowels and your bladder, and you're going to be sexually impotent. And you're not going to come out of this ordeal whole. Name of my book's The Hell I Can't. When I was in the hospital for the 14th surgery, they sent me to see a psychiatrist. I wasn't anxious about going down there. I was afraid they'd make me stay, but they assured me I was just going down there for a visit. Anyway, it's a great story. It's in the book. And he's reading letters from the doctors to the insurance company saying what Terry McBride has is not curable. He's going to be left with significant permanent disability. And we were arguing and we were fighting. And finally I looked at him and I said, look, I know what you guys believe, but I don't want to believe like you. You see, I'm reading these books. And these books say there's a part of me that's not sick. What these books say is there's a part of me that's not afraid. And what these books say is that if I can get in touch with that part of me, if I can really own that who I am is that part of me that's not sick, that part of me that's not afraid, what these books say is that from there I can learn to create reality instead of face reality. And this loving, caring man sat back in his chair, folded his arms, and said, Terry, that's your ego talking. You want to own these principles we talk about in this center. You want to own the truth that Michelle and Lonnie bring to the human race. You got to want it bad, because there are still some teachers out there that will encourage you to accept your human limitations. They might not say don't bite off more than you can chew. They might not say don't try to be somebody you're not. But there are some great teachers out there that will encourage you to give up what you want for some grander scheme. And that's not what we teach. You see, science of mind is about your freedom. There are thousands of books written on science of mind. Ernest wrote 17 or 20 or something like that. And if you read them, it can get kind of confusing. Because sometimes in one book he says this, and then, anyway. If I was to summarize what I think the three most important aspects of science of mind are, why it sets us free, how it sets us free, it would be these. I would never presume to say these are the only three. These are mine. The first thing that science of mind offers you is that you're already holy. We start from the idea that you're already God expressing uniquely as you. You're already the unique incarnation of spirit. We hear it all the time in metaphysics. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. But in science of mind, we own that. That's the foundation for everything else. It's the foundation for how we pray in spiritual mind treatment. The first step, there's one divine presence. We call that divine presence God. Second step, that divine presence, that essence of God and I are one. And Ernest Holmes says it over and over and over. That right now, you are the personification of that which is God expressing uniquely as a little girl. God expressing uniquely as a young boy, as a woman, as a man. Right now, you and I are God expressing uniquely as us. That's what Jesus brought to the human race when he said, know the truth and the truth shall set you free. See, many of the other disciplines out there come from the foundation that was set from what I call the church in the last 2,000 years. And the church, its foundation up until recently was you were born in original sin. You're already broken. And you have to do this and this and this and this and this to be fixed. And that has gone over into the various trainings that we're involved in. There are some great, loving, caring people that will want to teach you that you're the child of an alcoholic parent, the product of a dysfunctional family, that you have a small self and saboteur within you that are always trying to lead you astray. And the only way to be free is you've got to do the latest list, the 4 this, the 8 this, to hold your palms up, to keep your feet flat on the floor, breathe into your nose, out through your mouth, raise your kundalini energy, and get your chakra spinning in the right direction and the right color. And the list of what you need to do to be holy continues to change. It continues to change because they come from you're not enough now. And that not enough now permeates every aspect of one's existence, except what Jesus brought to the human race was, you're already holy. Know the truth and it shall set you free. He didn't say you need to forgive enough to be free. You need to let go enough to be free. You need to be willing enough to be free. Those are other teachers. Jesus said all you need to do is know something, and it will set you free. Ernest Holmes says that thing that you can know that will set you free is that you're already holy. As he says it, you are the personification of that which is God expressing as woman, God expressing as man. That truth sets you free. The second foundation from my perspective that gives science of mind such meaning in my life, second one is you're already powerful. It's already done as you believe. Your consciousness already creates reality. Ernest is what he's getting at in his teachings, and when he talks about Jesus, he said what Jesus brought to the human race 2,000 years ago was quantum physics. Consciousness creates reality. As ye believe, so shall it be done unto you. Once again, the second foundation of science of mind is that you're already powerful. You don't have to do enough. See, so many of the other disciplines say that you'll be powerful when you do this. You're powerful when you keep these agreements or those things, or have these different priorities in your reality. What science of mind says is you're already powerful. It's already done as you believe. In other words, you do not have to change for the infinite power of creation to back up your belief system. It already does. It doesn't, you may have some belief systems that don't support you in having the kind of life you want, but that's not who you are. Who you are is a spiritual being, and your beliefs create reality. And when you own those two, what all that's left for you is to move into your life as the creator of your life. I'm holy. I'm the essence of God, expressing uniquely as me, and the infinite power of the universe backs up my belief systems. All that's left when you own those two is take charge of your consciousness so you can create the reality that you want. That's the foundation. You're holy, you're powerful. But what Ernest says is you can't really own those two until you can prove it. Because the idea that you're already God expressing uniquely as you, so what? So's this podium. It's God expressing uniquely as podium or a glass of water. The hunger inside you and I is we want to know that we're God in form. This is what's been talked about since the beginning of time. Socrates said, know thyself. Shakespeare said, that thine own self be true. The self they're talking about is the divine essence you are. And Ernest says you can only own that when you can demonstrate it, when you can prove it to yourself. So the theory that you're God and you're powerful is just that until you can prove it. Ernest says this. He says, to be confident, to be self-assured, we must know that there is a power in the universe that we can use, and we must also know that we know how to use it. And he goes on and says, the only way for you to really own that there is a power and for you to use it is for you to use it. And he says, where do you use it? On yourself first. This center is about your dreams and your aspirations, and we unapologetically say that if you come here and come to their classes, we will teach you how to make your dreams come true. Because this center, as it says on the top of all of your stuff, this center is about opening hearts and incubating dreams. This center is not about God's plan for you. This is about you finding your plan for you, because you are already that divine essence you seek. How'd you like to wake up in joy? Before you do anything, you just find that there's this natural feeling that moves into your body going, oh, goody. How'd you like to go to bed at night thrilled about who you are and what you're doing with your life? How'd you like to have a body that works perfectly and that's pain-free? These are the promises of science of mind. But you must use these principles. It's more than just sitting around thinking about them. You've got to use them. When I was in that meeting with the psychiatrist, I was 14 surgeries into my illness. I was 5 years into my illness. I read good books. I talked a good line. I could talk metaphysics with the best of them. But when I left, when I finally got up and walked out of his office, I knew that what was next for me was I had to begin to apply these principles. See, science of mind isn't just about theory, it's about the practical application of these principles. When you get involved here and take the classes, what you will find is that you review the homework based on your reading, you do your homework, but then you come together in classes and you sit with your spiritual family and talk about these ideas. What does it mean to be God-informed? What does it mean to be the living Christ? Because that's what we're talking about. And it wasn't not too long ago that if you even talked about, I'm the living Christ, they killed you. Where else can you explore these ideas that will set you free? These ideas that you're already holy. These ideas that you're already powerful. Where else can you get together with like-minded people and support each other in using these principles to make your dreams come true? Here. That's what Michelle offers you. That's what Michelle and Lonnie are about. When you look at them, their relationship workshop. Their relationship works, and I've known them for a long time, and it works because they work at it. They use the tools in it. I don't know what you're going through in your life. I don't know how many well-meaning, real credentialed teachers have said, this is the box you need to live in. What I do know is who you are, because I had an opportunity to find out who I was. There are people in this room who don't have any hope. I've been there. There are people in this room who are surrounded with disease and sickness. They might be talking a good line, but inside they're scared to death. I've been there. What this center offers you is an opportunity to come in just who you are and be loved and accepted and empowered. Because when you make your dreams come true, what you will get is an experience of self that's even bigger than your dreams. Get involved in this center. Support it with your time, support it with your talent, support it with your money, because this center is about one thing: you making your dreams come true. Get involved. Get involved. Get involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Terry. We are going to anchor your words of wisdom in prayer right now. I am involved. I am evolving. I am God. There's only one power. That power is expressing through everything and everyone. Spiritual beings gathered here in this room and those within the sound of my voice. I speak my word, and as I do, I set the law of the divine into motion. And I accept and I know that each being here has already received that spark of grace, of light, of divine knowing that there is infinite possibilities to be, to live, to express more fully for each one's desires to be manifested, for love to prevail. So very grateful for these teachings. Grateful to hear them in a different way this morning through Reverend Terry's wisdom. Grateful that this prayer is already made manifest in the one mind and therefore in all minds. So I simply relax and am assured that what I've spoken is true and that it is already done. So together we say, and so it is.